Hi, my name is Amanda DeBow. I grew up in the Boston area in Massachusetts, and I had a great life. I have wonderful parents, but I did grow up as an adoptee. I was adopted from Seoul, South Korea, and I always wondered about my past. I obviously didn't look like my parents, but I had a great relationship with them, and I had a great childhood. But I always kind of wondered, what I was missing, what my birth mother was like, if I looked like my father, all of those things. One day, my mom sent me an email about a contest for a trip to Korea. And so I was like, okay, gonna do it. And I passed it in at like 2 in the morning. It was due at midnight, so technically I was late, but then I ended up winning. So it was with a program called the Gift of Identity, and the whole idea behind it was to give adoptees who maybe couldn't afford, a trip to Korea, the chance to go. TIES program is a sister program with the Gift of Identity. If you win this grant, then you can go on a trip to Korea with the TIES program. And so what they do is that they give adoptees and their families a chance to visit their homelands. All the background information I had growing up as an adoptee is that my birth mother kept me for 6 months, and then she gave me up for adoption.
Hi, I am finally in Korea. I made it to Seoul in one piece, and I'm so happy to be here.
So I found out that my birth father was actually the one who kept me for 6 months, not my birth mother. So I found out through my adoption agency that they contacted who was on my records as my birth mother. She was like, actually, you have the story wrong. I'm not her birth mother. Her birth mother left. I am the father's best friend that took care of her, and I'm willing to meet with her. And I went to my adoption agency, I reviewed my file, and they were like, actually, you have a half-sister and a half-brother. And I was like, okay.
So I just woke up, as you can see, and this is the morning that I go to Masan, and I'm going to meet the best friend, and she might be bringing the half-sister as well.
I got a translator through the TIES program. We drove out with my husband, Klein, to meet up with my stepmother, who was also the best friend, and my half-sister. So we met in a hotel, and when I first saw them, it was just chaos. She was just crying immediately and just holding on to me and clinging to me, and they were just speaking in Korean. I didn't know what was going on, and it was just very overwhelming. After things settled down a little bit, I just immediately felt a bond with my sister. One of the cool things I found out was I've always had sweaty hands, and I found out that my brother also has very sweaty hands, and my father. So that was kind of icebreaker type of thing. And I was on the tour bus with the rest of the program, and I got a call from Inhe, the translator, who said, I called your brother and I told him that, you're a good person, you have a good heart, and that, you really wanted to meet your birth father. And he agreed. So he's like, I'll make it happen. I got to meet my birth father, and I walked in and he just gave me a hug, and it was like a really long hug, and it just felt so good. Like, it just felt so real. It was so gentle and warm, and I just knew that he absolutely loved me. So I got home and I was just like, wow, this has all happened within, not even 48 hours. And then I got a call at 11 p.m. from Inhe, the translator. And she says, you're not going to believe what's happening now. And I said, oh my gosh, what? She said, your grandmother is on her way. And I was like, excuse me? And she apparently got so freaking mad that nobody told her. She made my stepmother pick her up. She lived 2 hours away from my hotel. She came at 2 in the morning in her pajamas. She was like, I couldn't even put on real clothes because I was so excited. It was emotional meeting all of my family, but I think because I was so emotionally spent, I was exhausted, and then her reaction, it was the most emotional meeting of anybody. And she just had felt so guilty her whole life about giving me up, because one interesting piece of information that I found out before was that actually my birth father did not give me up for adoption, from what I understood. He basically came home one day and I was gone. He was so distraught and depressed when my birth mother left that, my grandmother asked his best friend to take care of me, which she did. and both of them were like, he needs a new start, he needs a fresh life. So this baby is just a constant reminder of what he lost. So they gave me up for adoption, and the stepmother gave me up, and then that's the reason why she's the birth mother on all of my records. It was an incredible trip though, and I would not have been able to do all of this by myself. The Ties program gave me a chance to meet my family, which is priceless, you know, and I still talk to them, and I'm friends with them on Facebook, and you know, and I'll always have that for the rest of my life. And I can't imagine now not having them in my life. I really do feel complete now. I feel like all the puzzle pieces are together. I just want to say thank you so much to the Ties program and Gift of Identity, because they have given me something so priceless, so amazing. It's hard to put into words. So I just feel like I want to spread the good word, pay it forward, you know, because I was so lucky to have the opportunity that I did. I just want the next kid who wants this to be able to have it too.